Yeah, Carrie, the Central Vista project, which is a all-encompassing project, which includes the Central Vista itself, the new parliament, uh, which is slated to complete it by March 2022, as you mentioned. The Vista will complete by November of next year. And then, of course, the common central secretariat, which is part of the project, which is March 2024 deadline. All of this is being packaged into one redevelopment project, which has been currently under litigation, actually. I mean, Supreme Court has yet to kind of give a go-ahead on the ongoing judicial process there. But quite a poignant day to discuss this. This today is also the 19th anniversary of the attack on Indian Parliament of 2001. In fact, the Prime Minister is paying tribute to the people who laid their lives in that attack right now as we are live. Uh, of course, he did the Bhumi Pujan on Thursday. Seems like a year of Bhumi Pujans for the PM. Two big ones this year. This the new parliament will have expanded capacity for both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, which is actually an indication of the fact that India will at some point go for delimitation. The delimitation currently, I mean, most of our constituencies are sized as per the 1971 census, with some redrawing happened in 2008, but not a lot. But the delimitation which was supposed to happen in 2002, there was a act which was passed by the parliament then to move it to 2020 to the next census after 2026, which is in 2031. But this act will have to be repealed to increase the size of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha in the coming years, and a new act would have had to be passed. But the new building will have a capacity for 888 members in Lok Sabha, 384 in Rajya Sabha, and the Lok Sabha hall will seat 1272 members, where all the joint sessions can be held, typically, which happens at the start of a new parliament session. The theme of the two houses will vary. Lok Sabha will look like the national bird, which is peacock, and the Rajya Sabha will look like the national flower, which is lotus. So pretty important moment, because this also lays to rest the rumors which keep coming up that Indian capital should move out of Delhi. I mean, clearly that's not happening anytime soon. And the fact that some of the new architecture will have an Indian imprint. This is quite interesting, because when the original parliament was built, the parliament was actually only sanctioned in 1919 after the Government of India Act was passed by the British, and they wanted to give Indians more participation in the governance. But the context of the Delhi development, which is in the capital move from Calcutta to Delhi, was in 1911, when King George V announced the shifting of this capital. So at that time, Carrie, Lord Hardinge, who was the viceroy then, had this issue around what kind of architecture should the Delhi buildings follow. He was actually one of the proponents to say that there should be an Indic touch to the architecture, which is that Indian imprints should be there on the buildings. But surprisingly, the guy who actually opposed that thought was actually Lutyens, Edwin Lutyens, who had then flown in 1912 to create the modern Delhi as we see it today, and under whose name is abused every day by in the Indian social media as a moniker of Lutyens Delhi. But he was quite opposed to it. Apparently, when he landed in India, he wrote a letter to his wife saying there's nothing called Indian architecture. It is all useless type of buildings. It's all a hodgepodge, and hence the Europeans need to teach the Indians how to build buildings. Thankfully, Lord Hardinge then asked him and the other architect, which was Herbert Baker, to go to various parts of North India. Apparently, they visited cities like Lahore, Lucknow, Kanpur, Indore, Mandu, and they realized that there was something which they can, some ideas which they could borrow, and all of that then reflected in the Lutyens Delhi buildings and also the parliament. The parliament, as we know today, it resembles a replica of the. It looks like a replica of the Chauset Yogini temple, which is in the Mitavli village near Gwalior in MP. And I think that could be a coincidence, because there's no record of the either architect Lutyens or Baker actually visiting Mitavli, but nonetheless there's a striking resemblance. And to give it to the Madhya Pradesh folks, because we never shy away from taking credit even when it is not due. Apparently the new parliament design looks like the Vijay Mandir in Vidisha, which is also a very important temple in the local folklore. So if you see social media, etc., the folks of MP are already claiming that the new design also is based on another MP, architecture, like a striking architecture. So I'm not sure if that's true. Again, there's no record of Tata Projects having visited Vidisha for the design or any of the folks who did the actual the civil design going to Vidisha. But nonetheless, that's the rumor in the local circles. But let's see how this project comes up. Pretty important for the expansion of. I think that's the headline story, that it is quite important for the expansion of the seats in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, which would then change the politics. And of course, this will undergo a huge debate in terms of how the delimitation should happen. There'll be allegations of what happens in US around the constituencies being drawn as per the quote unquote convenience of the government, of the ruling party. But I think this will then become a very key debate in the years to come, in the next 3-4 years to come.